You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice, and we have such a crew here today, and most importantly, the Florida Panthers in a playoff spot at the very moment. I don't even care if that's off script right now. It's the most important thing on the show. Aside from that, let's get into who we got here. I'm your host, Connor Cupen, and on mic 1 and mic 3, because someone ate mic 2. I'm not sure who it was. So, mic 1, we got Devils Fanatics and Devils Report. Guys, you guys are sharing a mic today for the first time. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels great to share a mic with my good pal, Daniel here.
All right, relax. How about those cardiac cats, Connor?
All right, hold on. Aside from yesterday, fantastic. On mic 3, over here we got Campbell Donovan making his return to Breaking the Ice after some time, and Tanner Price as usual. Campbell, how has it been being away from us for so long, and you're finally back?
So long, I really need the Carolina Hurricanes to start losing more and more and more.
Tanner, how's it going, man? You just had a triple play earlier. You're back an hour later.
As I always say, the blue shirts. It's a sad one today.
It's a sad
lost
one
yesterday,
today.
but the blue
shirt.
The blue shirt. Yeah. That's
All right,
me.
gang.
Spell blue shirts without L.
What about you
How
can't
it's
spell
not blue shirts.
Can you spell you can't spell devils without an
No,
L.
no, that's not true. It's actually Devils.
Oh, okay.
D-E-V-I-W-S.
I see.
Yeah.
Devuz.
Just like W-M-S-C.
Yes.
I see.
That's a good one. WMSC. But to be fair, every radio station has a W at the front of their tagline. So, I mean, it's not special. But we're going to pretend it is special for today, because why not? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't we? So, let's get right into this, boys. We got an hour on Breaking the Ice. Season is wrapping up. What is it, like 10 games left for each team? Some have
Almost.
11,
Crunch
12,
time.
something like that. Crunch time going on here. And while we're not even focusing on divisions at this point. We know which teams are going to those playoff spots. The wild card race is heating up. But let's just start out here. So we're going conferences now. Western Conference playoff picture. Let's get into it. First off, want to say one thing. Team of the week already getting awarded. Edmonton Oilers. 3-0 in games this past week. And they have really given themselves a shot at taking another divisional spot yet again. Taking down Dallas 4-1, most important game of the season for them against the Seattle Kraken. Both those teams fighting for that third spot in the division. And the Oilers get the job done, 6-4 victory, and now there's a 3-point separation between them and Seattle, who is now fourth in the division, and they got the first wild card spot, also taking them the Sharks, so good for them. Kings in second, Vegas in first, almost locked those up. But Seattle doing a really good job in the wild card, trying to stay alive while they can. Boys, do you think Edmonton can hold on, or the Kraken have a shot at catching?
Nah, I'm not going to lie. I still think Seattle's fraudulent. I mean, they just don't have the offensive firepower that Edmonton has. And I think we saw earlier on this season where Seattle got off to a really good start and then just kind of collapsed. And I think they're not really a match compared to most of the teams that are going to make the playoffs. I think Edmonton holds that spot firmly.
Edmonton holding the spot firmly. I mean, yeah, 3-0 this week. They're going strong right now. Connor McDavid has almost 140 points. So, it looks like the Western playoff race is really shaping up to be, it's not really that much of a bloodbath. It's sort of just, you have the, what's up?
No. I was going to say, I do think the Kraken have a shot because if you look at their schedule, they have Nashville these next two, right? And then Minnesota, and then they have Anaheim. They have Anaheim, then LA. Okay. Then they have
The
Arizona.
Coyotes three
they have
times.
the Coyotes 3 times, the Canucks once, and the Blackhawks
Yeah,
once.
that's they got the Coyotes 3 times, Chicago once, and the Ducks once. You know what I
Mickey
mean?
Mouse schedule.
Yeah.
Not a Mickey Mouse schedule. You know it. You know it's not true. Because you know they played the harder games earlier in the season. That's the thing.
fair.
That's all it is.
That's fair.
They still have to play the Wild. They still have to play the Kings. And they finished the season a 2-game series on Vegas. Back-to-back. To end the season.
We're going to have some, I think both wild card races potentially could.
The
come up
West,
to
the West is just not even like. It's literally the Kraken and the Jets. So the Kraken and the Oilers are fighting for playoff spots in that division.
Although looking at the Oilers schedule, they actually have an easier schedule,
Yeah.
which is hard to believe. They play Arizona tonight, Vegas Saturday, then Arizona, Vegas, LA, and then they have two in April. They have two with the Ducks
And two with the Sharks.
Two with the Sharks. So
One against Colorado, one against the Kings.
we're gonna need some mid teams to step up here if we want to have an interesting playoff race here.
But those Western Conference teams, like you look at it, it's literally just the Kraken and the Oilers are going to have one of those spots. The Jets likely get the other because beyond that, Nashville and Calgary, the only two teams within 15 points.
So I think Nashville is gonna get that last spot.
Oh.
Actually, I think Winnipeg are total frauds. The only reason why they are where they are right now is because of Connor Hellebuck, and offensively they are a mess right now. They cannot score more than 3 goals in a game. And Nashville, I feel like they're heating up right now. I mean, I know they're 5-3-2 in their last 10.
I mean, they're
But-
3-4 in their
but-
last 4.
But also,
I mean,
look at
1 and
this.
3.
Nashville has 3 games in hand on Winnipeg, and they are 5 points behind at the moment. Calgary, I don't really see anything because look at those overtime losses. That's bizarre. That's the only reason why they're in the race to
Yeah.
begin with. But I mean, I think I could see Nashville taking over that last spot. Winnipeg, they were in that second spot in the division all year, and then they just had a big drop off over the last month or so. So I mean, but looking at the West right now, I mean, everybody's heating up. Minnesota's heating up. Colorado, Vegas.
Colorado's won 6 in a row right now. Vegas, they're solid.
LA hasn't lost a regulation game in quite a while now. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10. So, and obviously Edmonton, like you said before, won
Yeah.
4 in a row. So, I mean, the West is heating up right now.
Now, one thing, you go, Daniel.
Calgary is just frustrating from the standpoint of a hockey fan because there's no excuse for a team being 8 games under 500 and, like, still being in the thick of a wild card race. Like, why? It doesn't make sense. What other sport do you see that?
The West is
Exactly.
just that bad. It's just that bad, and we know how competitive the East is, and definitely so. Where definitely maybe the Stanley Cup champion will come out of the Eastern Conference.
Oh, well, yeah, that's honestly, I feel that way, but watch it not happen for some reason. I just want to say, Nashville's schedule, so Justin thinks Nashville's a chance. Let me read off their schedule for the rest of the season. Kraken back-to-back games, right? Then Toronto and Boston, the next 2. And then Pittsburgh. Keep in mind, Nashville is around, like, Pittsburgh's strength level. And then they get the Blues. That'll be 2 divisional teams around the same area. Then Dallas, Vegas, Carolina, Winnipeg. After that, Calgary, Wild, Colorado. That's a crazy difficult schedule.
It's definitely a tough schedule, but I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I could see it happening for the Predators because I really don't believe in the Winnipeg Jets anymore, to be honest with you.
I believe Winnipeg will take a wild card spot. And see, I think how it is right now, Winnipeg could maybe go up over Seattle, but maybe I feel like I don't know. But the 8 teams currently in spots in the West, it seems like that's where it's looking right now. But I just want to get into some more eliminations because we got some more eliminations this week. The second team eliminated from the NHL playoffs, the Chicago Blackhawks. The third team eliminated, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Say that again, man.
What happened?
Now, the fourth team eliminated from the National Hockey League playoffs in the year 2022 to 2023, the Anaheim Ducks. 4 eliminations, 3 in the West, and the East, even their lowest seeded team, the Montreal Canadiens, are not eliminated yet in the Atlantic. So what that means is the Atlantic Division, best division in the league, without a doubt. It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Oh, yeah!
This is science right here. This proves it. But, nevertheless, we got a division here in the Pacific. where it's been the same all year except for Edmonton and Seattle battling. Seattle was at the top at one point and they fell. They've had some tough games here, but they're working their way back. As far as that goes, let's move over to the Central Division now. You see Dallas still somehow at the top. It blows my mind. They're in a tie with Minnesota, and Minnesota's going to overtake them. There's no way. Like, Dallas is a 38-win team. They're not going to be at the top of the division for much longer. Because even the 37-win Islanders are a wild card team. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could a team with 38 wins be at the top of the division? It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to stay that way. Thoughts?
No, but, overtime losses are still a point. It means you had a hard-fought game, I guess. But, Dallas at that top spot, I think out of the 4 current divisional leaders, they are by far the weakest one. I think they are by far the weakest of the 4 because you got Carolina, Boston, and Vegas. I think all 3 of those teams have very good shots at winning a Stanley Cup. I can't see Dallas even sniffing close to a Stanley Cup this year.
Do they get out of the first round? Because let's be real, Dallas right now would get a take on a team that's Seattle or Winnipeg, and they take on Seattle who has more wins than them.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think Seattle's going to be...
This is the easiest cupcake run for a wild card team I've seen yet. They're literally better than a division leader right now.
Seattle is going to be... it's going to be the first playoffs in Seattle most likely, and I think that'll really light a fire under the entire team, under the fan base, and I really think they'll kind of use the, we were bad last year, but now we're good. I think they'll use that, and I think they'll win that playoff series, and I'm excited to see playoff hockey in Seattle.
I think Minnesota's going to catch them. To be fully honest with you, but did you guys see that goalie fight? Fantastic. Yeah. Jordan Binnington, Marc-Andre Fleury.
That fighting, right?
Well, yeah, they tried it. But I loved it, man. I loved it. That would have been fantastic content.
It's about time somebody stepped up to Jordan Binnington because he's the biggest crybaby and most annoying player in the NHL right now, in my opinion. I cannot stand him. And did you guys he was mic'd up, I think, Fleury. And he's like, let's go, come on, drop the gloves. And then the ref's holding him back. He's like, come on, man, just let me fight. But I don't know why. I saw people discussing about this. Is Gary Bettman trying to make it where they're trying to limit fights in the NHL? Because what fun? How's that fun? You're making the sport worse.
I still get so agitated that man won the cup in 2019 in Game 7 against the Bruins, and this guy now. He lets up goals, and he's literally the biggest baby in the league, and he can't control his emotions. And, his reactions to him not playing so well the past few seasons is, to get backup players for really absolutely just barking at you because you can't do your job and tend the net, tend the goal.
Tend the goal!
It's just frustrating to watch, But whether he's throwing a water bottle at Nazem Kadri or he's skating up and down the ice he's like an animal at a zoo, just relax.
Yeah, if I was a Blues fan, I wouldn't be able to defend him because
his own coach didn't defend
him. Because what he does is he's trying to stay relevant in the league, and that's how he does it.
It works, to be fair.
It works,
but
the
kind of relevance I'd want.
But you can't give up you can't give up 5 goals in a game to begin with, and then after that you get into a goalie fight, and when you don't even get into a goalie fight, you get close to one, and then afterwards he's celebrating, pumping everyone up as if you didn't allow 5 goals. If you want to pump everyone up, just play better.
Yeah, they lost that game 8-5.
Yeah.
Has he ever accepted responsibility for his play?
No, because
everyone else's fault.
Because
the forward breathed near me. It should be goalie interference. I'm gonna yell at the ref because I don't like the way he smells. There's just always something that he needs to get frustrated about. Jordan Binnington, in my eyes, is what Penguins haters think Sidney Crosby is. And I'm not saying I'm not a Penguins hater. I'm not saying I love Sidney Crosby. But, like, how people make it out to be, that's exactly what Jordan Binnington is. I mean, he's just not a likable person for many reasons. And just his antics on the ice, like, he's exactly what Justin said. He's a crybaby. There's no place for him in this sport. And it's not even like he's good. Like, it would be one thing if he was one of the better goalies in the league and he was getting frustrated. It's like, okay, he's holding himself to such a high standard. But like Tanner said, he's given up 5 goals a night. It's like you're not good. Stop whining. Leave. Bye.
Honestly, to point that out, I don't know how their general manager gave him that contract extension.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, look, he had one good run, and that's it. Now we get to realize how much of an average goalie that Jordan Binnington is.
Not even
And
average. He's below average.
I mean, I'll save that 1 year, but essentially, in my opinion, the fact that this guy literally gives up like 5 goals and literally is Swiss cheese in that.
I mean, he did have a 3-0
just
shutout
bogus.
against Winnipeg, but you know
It's
what I mean?
Winnipeg. The conference is that Western Conference.
You know
is
what the
just
best
awful.
part about that is? It wasn't even him. It was Joel Hofer.
And it's like when Jorge Soler in baseball won World Series MVP.
All right,
like,
don't get me started on this one now.
like that doesn't, just because a guy has a great playoff series doesn't mean they're like franchise material.
Hey,
And,
he's gonna bounce back, all right?
and that's kind of how St. Louis viewed Binnington, and it hasn't worked. And when your own coach is saying stop worrying about everything else and just play hockey, there's probably something wrong. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen there's been a lot of, you know, not even turmoil, just like sadness with the Blues. They lost Tarasenko this year. They lost O'Reilly to trades, and then you just have this happening. There's no fan base wants it. No team wants that. I'm sure like young players.
It's a distraction.
It's a
Ultimately,
distraction.
when
It's a
people say
distraction.
Blues- when people say Blues, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
thinking about their talent coming up in the pipeline or anything.
Yeah.
We're thinking about their crybaby goaltender who's making headlines every night for whining.
Yeah, it seems as if it's, and no other goalie does this. No other goalie does this. You know, if they think that it was like a distinct kicking motion, I think it was goalie interference, they'll complain to the refs. But he does it almost every play.
Yeah, literally almost every single goal that goes in, he has to like skate towards the ref and throw his arms up. It's like,
I mean, I don't know how he got to this level of sports acting like this.
yeah,
Because
I agree.
or like where no one kept it in check. Because I've seen this before, but that was in rec sports and school sports and
Literal
like,
middle
and like
schoolers.
and like
We
and
might
like
see this in like intramural
Yeah.
playing against the frat. But
yeah, but this is professional hockey. This is, you know, and he's been in the league for what, 5 years?
Let's check that out. that out.
He's been in the league for a long time, and he's still acting like this. There has to be some level of maturity that either the Blues have to try to help him with, or he just has to get better at himself. But if this happens, it makes good headlines, yeah. But you know, you just don't want to see this.
He became a regular starter when they won the cup. Like that was like his first year of actually
Yeah.
becoming a regular starter. He played 1 game in 2016 and then didn't play for like two years and a half and then came on their cup run.
Some athletes just can't get out of their own way, and that's unfortunately what it seems like with him. And I think that honestly kind of goes hand in hand with his play as well. Like when you're constantly being negative and complaining and stuff, you're not setting yourself up in a position to be a great athlete at a high level. It's almost like an effect where he's not intending for it to hurt his play, but like I said, it is. That's the bottom line. And I can't exactly bring it up on air, but with the cup celebration, we some of you may know what happened with him and the Stanley Cup. So that alone, that says a lot about him. Let's put it that way. You all have Google.
We got Google.
I was going through the St. Louis Blues website, and then this is from March 16th. Bennington to have player safety hearing for actions in Blues game. So it says he's facing discipline for roughing / unsportsmanlike conduct against wild forward Hartman. So I don't know if the hearing has happened yet.
He's
But-
suspended 2 games.
2 games, okay. So I mean, at least the NHL is addressing this and realizing that he's a problem right now, and that he needs to start acting more mature. Otherwise, like, it's not gonna go well for him. So now, even like I oh my god, I almost lost my voice. I was just looking at his like career stats, and it's like weird. Every year, like if you look at his like wins, save percentage, goals against average, every year he gets worse. Like, and I don't know, understand how that happens. I don't know. I find it weird.
Jordan Binnington right now.
He needs some milk.
Regardless, speaking of goaltenders, Jonathan Quick last night with his win now has the second most wins by an American-born goaltender, with Ryan Miller the only guy in front of him. Wouldn't this be nice if they meet in the playoffs? Vegas and the Kings. Can we manifest that one?
For the sake of hockey fans, I think that'd be wonderful. That'd be a nice storyline.
I mean, I guess that's tough for Connor McDavid, but cool for us.
It might not be the Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani storyline, but for hockey, it's gonna be pretty cool. And actually, Campbell right now, you want to break the news on air? He just showed me.
Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
Former Devil, Penguin, Ranger, Brian Boyle, and Tampa Bay Lightning Brian Boyle has retired.
He's retired, right?
from
yeah.
pro hockey at the age of 38 and will join NHL Network as an analyst.
I saw that. This is a fact. This is indeed a fact. Brian Boyle is retired. Saw that earlier. I am
Devil's legend.
Devil's Legends.
I loved Brian Boyle. I got his
all
jersey.
Did. We all did.
Just that whole like cancer story and everything like that, and how he came back. It was just such a heartfelt story. I mean, and he was just a really good player. Like for his role. I mean,
Yeah,
he was
for
a
sure.
guy who front net presence, good defensively, smart player, could come through when you need to. I mean, great player, great class act, definitely.
Had a season with the Cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around a lot.
2020, he played with Florida.
I am one of the very few people who owned a Nashville Predators Brian Boyle jersey, and I am proud of that. So
That was his 2019 season. That was when they got traded, right?
yeah, the Devils traded him, I believe, 2019 at the deadline,
Yeah.
like the 2018-19 season.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
Nashville,
Yeah.
Then he went to Florida. Then he
Took a year off.
Took a year off and then played for
Pittsburgh
Team
last year.
Team USA at the World Championships, and then Pittsburgh last year. So he was definitely around, but he found his role in the league. He was a role player. He wasn't.
He
a
made one
superstar.
All-Star game in 2018
Yeah,
with the Devils.
He exactly fulfilled his role perfectly,
Yeah, I mean,
and very much so a class act.
he was a big part of the Rangers team that made it to the Stanley Cup final. He was just like a backbone of that team, almost. So he's always one of my favorite players. He scored in Game 7 against Pittsburgh, the year they went to the Cup. He scored the goal in the beginning of Game 7. I remember watching that, one of the best games I ever watched. And I went to a Devils bobblehead night where they were giving away a bobblehead of him. I still have it. 'Cause he was always one of my favorite players. Congratulations on retirement. I mean, he's got through a lot in his life, as we've seen, but congratulations on retirement.
Congrats, Brian Boyle.
I think I agree with that. I think one of my favorite moments was him, in Game 3.
I played a sound effect there, so just say it all over again.
I'm sorry.
You're good, bro.
I didn't hear it.
You're good.
My apologies. So one of my favorite Brian Boyle moments was in Game 3 of the first round against Tampa Bay. In that scrum, I forget. I think he was talking. I think he was jawing at Kucherov. I think was it Kucherov or
I think it was Sergachev.
Sergachev,
Yeah.
and you could hear what he said, and it was like people were just so riled up. It was so great. That Game 3 was just insane.
Yeah, if you guys ever get the chance, I don't know if you know like bad lip reading. There's
Absolutely.
Yeah,
My dad loves that, bro. I don't know why, but he does.
There's one of them of Boyle and Sergachev going at each other in Game 3, and it's just the funniest thing ever. Like everyone has to watch it.
It's your homework. It's your breaking the ice homework, guys. You won't graduate without it. But moving on here now, I want to talk more about the Central here. We see Dallas at top. I think Minnesota and Colorado's moving right now. Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon, they are back. They're averaging like a little over 2 points a game. They're going crazy. The team has won 6 straight games. And as a result, they have signed Jared Bednar to a 3-year extension. Thoughts on this, guys?
I mean, after you win a Stanley Cup as a coach, you're in line for an extension. He's been one of the best coaches in the game. They've got through a lot of adversity this season, at least.
Oh, and they've done so well with it. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
And they've done so well through it.
AJ's cup pick.
Yeah. So it's good to see. He's one of the coaches that deserves an extension. He's been one of the best coaches the last couple of seasons. So it's good to see that he got this extension.
So on top of that, Minnesota, I think they're going to be a candidate to take that division. And so my Devils fans, my lovely Devils fans, my Matt Boldy supporters out here, talk to me about the game. I watched the Devils Fanatics TikTok live reaction. That was extremely funny, man. He's just like, oh my God, shoot it, bro. Come on, shoot it. And then he's like, what? Oh my God, no, what happened? And he's like, oh man, they scored. I don't know what I just watched, guys.
Why'd you nail that reaction? Jeez.
Okay. I saw that yesterday. I thought it was a different person at the beginning. That's how high your voice
I
was.
mean, yeah, my voice is high because I'm into it.
I'm
like emotion and stuff like that.
I thought it was a video that someone took of the goal, and then you were like reacting to it. I'm being honest.
I get that. I mean, dude, that was just so heartbreaking. I mean, like Jack Hughes had like. you want to play it for everybody? So start from the beginning.
Let's see how well it comes over the mic. Let's see how well it comes over. Oh my God! The audio cut off. No words.
Wow. We don't have to hear the rest. We don't have to hear the rest. So basically, to sum it up, it was such a heartbreaking loss for the Devils. I mean, Jack Hughes had 6 shot attempts in that overtime alone. He's on a major slump right now. Sorry, my bad. Quinn's brother's on a major slump right now. But I mean, it doesn't get much more heartbreaking than that. You hit a post, and then Matt Boldy goes the other way. And then people are calling out Dougie Hamilton because, like, oh, he didn't try. No, we can't say that. The guy's gassed. Yeah.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. That puck couldn't have been placed more perfectly for Matt Boldy. Yeah. And when that puck hit the post and Boldy was there, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, Dougie's definitely, gassed and maybe he couldn't make a play, but there's nothing you could do about that. Listen, I mean, salvage a point, but I mean that's just a heartbreaking way to lose because the Wild had a lot of puck possession in the earlier part of that overtime because they won the first faceoff.
Listen, Dougie Hamilton deserves plenty of slack for his defense. That was not one of them. I mean, he was out the whole time basically. In 3-on-3 overtime. Matt Boldy's one of the faster players in the league. And that, like Campbell said, that puck could not have bounced more perfectly to him. I mean, sometimes from the words of the wise Ken Danico, it's better to be lucky than good. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, you couldn't have scripted that any more perfectly for Matt Boldy and the Minnesota Wild. Just the second that puck bounced right to him, I think all us Devils fans knew that puck was ending up in the back of the net before the buzzer went off. And that's exactly what happened. It's
life.
It hurts.
Life as a Devs fan.
I think barring any miracle, it kind of puts a damper on our chance of finishing in first place. However, every point matters, as we know in this system. And we did gain a point on the Rangers last night because they lost to Carolina in regulation. So we got a 6-point lead now. We each got 11 games to go. I've seen some stuff in my sports life, so I'm not going to be too happy right now. But I'm just going to say that it was big to gain a point.
Well, for Minnesota, they're now they're tied for first in that division, so they're looking to overtake Winnipeg in the second wildcard spot, Seattle staying there. That's all I think. 3 teams eliminated. So now we're going to move away from this playoff picture for 1 second, and we're going to talk about the Fanatics deal. So Fanatics is going to be the new NHL on-ice uniform partner, a 10-year contract that's going to start 2 seasons from now. Because Fanatics has manufactured the Authentic Pro product line for like 5 years now, and they do MLB's player jerseys as well. And there's going to be no major change to the jerseys. That might come in about 4 years. How do we feel about the new contract here? Moving away from Adidas and into Fanatics.
Worst deal ever made by the NHL. It's gonna come back to bite them. I don't like anything that Fanatics makes. I don't like their jerseys. I just don't like the company overall. You really just couldn't get Nike if you wanted to. I didn't mind Adidas, honestly. I had no problem with them. I thought their jerseys were great. They made great merch. It frustrates me because Fanatics, like, really, you could have got like Nike, Under Armour, like you could got one of these big brands, but you get, let's get Fanatics. I'm
Dude,
not
the MLB jersey trash prices are trash, man. Like 400, and the replica ones are 130, and they're like, those are trash, kind of too. Like, it's rough. It's rough.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, maybe the prices might go down a bit since it's Fanatics, but I really think maybe they should have called the CCM and, think about, sponsoring them.
The thing is, like, I've never personally had a problem with Fanatics, but I've seen some stories online. I've seen pictures where they're constantly misspelling names on jerseys.
I haven't had that problem yet. I've had that problem with DHgate now.
Well.
But, like, thing is with Fanatics, like, I'm pretty sure they make, like, the NFL shop runs through Fanatics, and so does the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Like all major.
All, yeah.
Even the NBA, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the NBA had their own thing or it was through
But
Fanatics as well.
The thing is, like, I guess we kind of have to see how it plays out, but there's no reason, just in general, no matter what the company is, for sports jerseys to be that much money. I mean, like,
Yeah.
the average sports fan really can't afford a jersey, and that's not fair. It's not right. And if you want to grow the game, you cannot tell me a Fanatics jersey costs any more than $15 to make, maybe $20, and they're selling them for like $160, $180.
The MLB jerseys are like $400, and like the replicas are like one something, like $130.
So, yeah, like 2 years ago, I got a football jersey for $100. The same jersey would be $130 right now. It's gone up every season, which is just
it shouldn't have even been $100 to begin with. Like
That's why DHK comes through with the $40 jerseys.
Like, I don't see any reason to have them anything above like $70. They're still, if it costs say $15-$20 to make, and I'm probably highballing that, that's over triple profit, and
Yeah.
they're still gonna make a lot of money, because then instead of dropping say $160 on one jersey, people are gonna want 3 jerseys for $70, because it gives you the ability to have different players and different types of jerseys. Like, instead of just getting the home jersey, maybe they could get a home, away, and an alternate and actually feel better, because you're not dropping all that on just one jersey. But the reality is, we all go to sporting events. You look, probably at least half of jerseys are fake. And why
Dude,
is
it's
that?
so obvious. NFL jerseys, it's so obvious when they're fake.
But that's the thing, though. Like we see that firsthand, that these people can't afford real jerseys, so they opt for knockoffs, and ultimately, the league's kind of shooting themselves in the foot there, because now they have no money from those sales, as opposed to just lowering the prices, and then they'll still get their jersey sales. They'll still be making plenty of profit, and the fans that normally opt for knockoffs will go back to buying jerseys from the actual source. So ultimately, it's a good business model, because they're getting that money, that instead of getting $0 from the fans buying knockoffs, they're getting, say, 70 or 80. I see Justin on Fanatics right now. $175 for a Fanatics jersey.
It's 100. Okay, So I'm looking on here. It's 175. It's okay. It's $175 for a name and number jersey. The official Adidas one is $229
Which sport?
for hockey.
Okay.
For hockey.
Okay.
I'm looking on. You can get an Igor Shesterkin jersey, 175.
Yeah,
Panarin.
Chuck was like 170 if I wanted that. Yeah.
Like
It's
it's such a but the quality in the Fanatics made jerseys and the Adidas like official jerseys, the Adidas ones are such better quality.
Oh yeah.
They're such better quality. So I've never like
And the thing is, like Fanatics is charging $175 for these jerseys. Knockoff jerseys are generally between like $30 and $40.
Literally,
and they're better
man.
quality. They're fully stitched, so it's like
No, yeah, literally not heat pressed.
you can't even necessarily blame a fan for when you could buy 5 jerseys that are better quality for the price of one screen printed Fanatics
I would
one
say it
that they might even mess up.
totally depends on the team and the team's colors. For
Yeah,
example,
that's true.
as a Dolphins fan, it's not possible to find a good fake. It's literally not happening. And Marlins jerseys, bro, I tried. They got the fish logo upside down. They used orange instead of red on like all of them. They put Sandy Alcantara's full name on the back first and last. I have 3 Alcantara jerseys at home. 2 of them are knockoff. One legitimately has the full name on the back. The other one is like, it's just like it's missing the Marlins logo. It's just orange instead of like the red that's on the jerseys. So I just gave in and got the Fanatics rip-off one. And it doesn't even have like the Marlins logo on it. So it's like, that's an L.
You want to hear this?
Hearing it.
$120 for a youth Nico Heischer jersey right now. $120. Like that is ridiculous.
Dude, if your kid doesn't have 120, he's broke.
I
Broke boy
actually,
stuff.
Like, when I was little, I genuinely walk into like Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and for like even Models, yeah, like they'd have
Rest in peace, Models. They're down.
they'd have like $25, $30 Devils jerseys.
I
Like,
mean-
you will never, ever, ever see that.
I
anymore.
just got like a Russell Wilson, like that Russell Wilson like gray Seahawks jersey at my TJ Maxx for $25.
Hey.
So it was just like,
Well, it was the Seahawks. He's
Yeah,
not on
exactly.
them
It's 'cause it's not a
anymore,
current
so
player. That's why. Yeah.
but like,
Like I
they
went,
cut the price down. So
I went to
Dude,
Dick's Warehouse and they had plenty of Zach Wilson.
Oh, no,
jerseys for
yeah,
cheap.
dude. They had James Harden Nets jersey real cheap.
Jacob
because
DeGrom Mets shirts.
Dude, when Kevin Durant left the Thunder, they were selling his jersey for like 40 cents in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Taylor Hall Devils shirts, like they got it all.
They
Like,
no,
Just
once
the-
the player leaves, the price tanks.
just the overall like amount for just any sport is insane. Like
Yeah.
I have like I'm wearing a Mets hat. I'm wearing a Mets hat, like a regular Mets hat and a Mets hoodie. This was probably like because I got this hoodie for Christmas. This is probably like $100 that I'm wearing combined, which is
I would
insane.
have said more than that, honestly.
Yeah, because I got this Mets hat at like a store in a mall, and it was like $25, and I was like, okay.
Not lids,
but
where
even
it's
that,
57.
even that, like
Yeah.
$25 for a hat it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you could go right outside of City Field and get them
Yeah.
for 10. But
Or go to
From-
lids and get them for 40.
here's the thing. I just went to Florida for the World Baseball Classic, right? And
Mhm.
I went to the first game I went to, Puerto Rico versus Mexico. There's a different company that makes Puerto Rican jerseys. They don't do any other countries in the World Baseball Classic, just Puerto Rico. You could get them at Dick's for like $65. Every single Puerto Rican fan had one on because they're affordable.
Yeah.
It's not $200. You're not selling your soul for it. They're pretty good quality. I swear, if they didn't have a team T-shirt, they were in one of those jerseys from that company. And it just made me think, like, wow, like, look what happens when you have an affordable product. People are buying it more. It's not rocket science. And I think, I don't know, it's just very greedy. And between that and blackouts, like they keep saying, we want to grow the game, and I'm talking about the NHL right now. Grow the game. Well, you're not growing the game when you're making it impossible for people to own their team's jerseys and impossible to watch their own team. Like, isn't that two of the main things in the sport? You want to be able to watch them and you want to be able to wear their jersey. You're not allowing for either, and then you complain about the viewership or try to pass it off as, oh, the game's growing when it's really not. Or it's growing like 1% every decade. Like, congrats.
Congrats.
Go off.
Hitting it one more time right here.
He needs some milk.
I mean, I'm just looking at jerseys right now, baseball-wise. I mean, I'm looking at some Red Sox jerseys, and they're literally from 90 to 134 to like 160. It's just egregious. The prices are just astronomical because no one can afford these prices unless, Fanatics cuts them down and has sales and then gives you a promo code, of course, to knock
Fanatics
down
has the
that
promo
sale.
code every time I go on the
It's
website.
just so crazy.
Yeah, they have the promo code for like 10-20% off, whatever, but then they hit you with the shipping and the fees and the handling fee and the processing fee. It's almost like Ticketmaster.
Look, I'm reading this right now. $94 for a youth replica of a Rafael Devers Boston Marathon City Connect jersey. That's insane. $95 for that. So I have to take $100 out of my bank account if I were to buy that for a young kid.
Yeah,
That's insane.
That's youth, so that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I hope we get to a point where just jerseys are less, but I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon.
Well, to the NHL for this. Come on, guys. So now, let's move on now. We spent a long time on the jerseys thing, but it's a good conversation. So we're going to circle back now in to the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Now, guys, let's start with one thing here. The Metro, we got the Carolina Hurricanes still at the top. The Devils had it for what, a day? Probably one day. Nice little glory day. But sadly, that's not how things go. The Canes beating the Rangers last night. Tanner, walk me through the misery that was your Tuesday afternoon.
Should I just go through all the Ranger games at this point?
I mean, yeah, sure. You know what?
Yeah, I'll start with the good stuff because there was good stuff this week.
So let's just bring it back. AJ's not here right now. But
so,
to start the week, Thursday and Saturday last week, W 4-2, and then 6-0. Mixed the extra point, but who cares? 6-0 victory over the Pens in back-to-back days. How does this make you feel?
So, I don't know if I've ever had. No, I probably have, but I don't know if I've ever had. There was 2 games in a row where I was watching the Rangers, and I could watch them and I wouldn't get upset.
Hey,
That just happened.
that's what we love to see.
That's what was going on. I mean, they won 6-0. They looked really, really good in that game. I was at that game. Everyone was just excited. Everyone was happy. I mean, they're beating the Penguins. Nothing's better. Nothing's better than that.
Nothing's better than beating Pittsburgh. Ain't that right, AJ?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that right?
But yesterday's game, last night's game, was just it was a gut punch, because you went in after those 6-0,
The touchdown win against the Predators.
the 6-0 and 7-0 win. Like, this team's unstoppable, and they get out to a lead. They have 2 leads in the game, and they blow it. I had a sense that if they won, if they won 2 of those games, if they won Tuesday yesterday, and then if they won tomorrow, they would be 2 points out they'd be 2 points out of the top of the Metro. But now they're 8 points out because of 1 loss, and it's just a gut punch almost, because you kind of know that they have no shot at the division. You kind of, because there was a little bit of, you might do that, and then you'll be facing, probably the Islanders, which that's not much better for the Rangers because the Islanders usually just find a way to beat them a lot of the time. But it's just kind of, you could have won the division. You're probably going to have 2 years in a row where you have really, really, really good team, but you don't have the division win to show for it. Granted, we saw how far the Rangers made it in the playoffs last year.
Last year they did win the whole Metro in the end.
But it's just tough to see. Now I think they just have to worry about do they have a shot at getting getting home ice in a possible series against the Devils.
So now let's talk about those New Jersey Devils. My whole cast and crew here, outside of the Wild loss, it's been a rough week. Lightning shootout loss, Panthers loss, Devils fanatics then again on the Instagram like, oh yeah, we got a 2-goal lead. Then he's like, oh my god, man, we just blew it. Oh no. Because
I do not sound like that. He is gaslighting so much.
dude, so
right
first
now.
off, Nico Hischier with the shorthanded goal broke my heart, and then that second goal they scored, it was like, what even just happened with the Cats defense? Somehow, Mark Stahl and Alexander Barkov both like get injured on the play, and then Bobrovsky is just waddling around, and the goals get scored, and it's like 2-0.
Jesper Boquist owns your franchise.
But in the third period, however, Barkov goal, and then a minute later, Reinhardt on the power play. And then 50 seconds later, it's literally Kachuk just in the front of the goal. And it's like, oh, sweet. Nastiest forehand, backhand move ever. Akira Schmid. I made the joke 17 times. Came on the Devils Fanatics Instagram and did so. And now I'm going to make it here. Because the Devils lost to the best team in the East.
Oh, yeah!
I'm just kidding, of course. But they're second in the wild card race right now. Never felt better. First, though, the Islanders, 3-0 this past week. They honestly, on fire right now. Who would have thought Matt Barzal getting hurt was the key to their success? I mean,
Not me, but I don't even really know who is, successful at them, because I saw Bo Horvat has been playing awful. He's been awful.
I think Brock Nelson got hurt yesterday as well in their game. So, I don't know. Who else do they have? Zach Parise?
The Islanders AARP club.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that save that Sorokin made, right?
he's good.
Yeah.
And they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-2 last night, which is like, okay, touchdown, cool. Not cool for the wild card race as a Cats fan. But let's go back to those Devils. How were those Lightning games? Talk to me about, the 3-4 shootout loss, but then the 5-2 win.
So the very first one was
The AJ game?
Yeah, the infamous AJ game. We kind of let an overturned goal suck the life out of the team. We had a great first period and the wheels fell off the bus, so it is what it is. We move on. And I did say to Justin, we needed to get at least a point out of the next 2 games, like worst case scenario, and we did get that 1 point in the next home game. The Devils are a great 6-on-5 team, and Timo Meier is able to tie it up with Akira Schmid, Connor's favorite goaltender, pulled.
Hey!
And unfortunately, we are not. We had plenty of chances in OT as per usual, but we're not able to finish, and we lost in everyone's favorite thing, the shootout. So
Devils are the best shootout team in the league.
I have one thing to say though. Justin Brady, he really replied to me when I got very frustrated about Timo Meier playing in the bumper position on the power play, and then he gets out of that bumper position. He goes to the circle, he scores the ties the game, and then you replied to me. You were saying, I'm like, look, I'm trying to be realistic here. I love that Timo Meier is on this team, and he's fighting his stride. It's gonna happen, and he's gonna help this team win. That's all I gotta say.
It's already happened. I mean, Timo Meier has 5 points over his last 5 games, and then he's the only reason why the Devils got a point yesterday alone. Timo Meier, it's weird because I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he's like, oh, ever since the Devils got Timo Meier, it just hasn't been good. But I mean, Timo Meier hasn't been the problem. If anything, he's been one of the reasons why the Devils have been able to get some points here as of late. So I mean, I think Timo Meier has fit so well. The Devils obviously lack so much physicality. They get out-hit by a large margin each night, and the only reason, he's a guy that brings the physicality. He's a good front net presence. He's fitting really well in that top line right now with Jesper Bratt and Nico Hischier. And, and he's scoring goals right now for us, and that's what we traded him for. So, I mean, Timo Meier is an awesome player right now for the Devils. Probably the best player on this team over the last stretch here, I'd say.
Yeah, that line was buzzing all night, and like you got to give the guy a chance to gel with this new team. Like going from San Jose to New Jersey, who's right in the thick of it.
Going from 19 wins to 45 wins.
Yeah, that's a huge adjustment. He was kind of used to being
Kind of used to losing.
well, not only that, he was quote unquote the guy in
Yeah,
San
that's
Jose,
true.
and now he has to acclimate to not having to do everything himself and having actual talent around him. And it takes some time because your play style is definitely a little different. He took some bad penalties early on in his tenure with New Jersey, but lately he's been just really, really solid, throwing the body around, scoring goals, and like Justin said, that line last night with Brat, Nico, and Timo on it, they were buzzing the whole night. They were definitely the best line on that ice for both teams. And you knew it was only a matter of time before he starts clicking. He has playoff experience too, so I know he'll be just fine. And it's going to be exciting to see what guys like Andre Palat and Timo Meier can do in the playoffs, because even Eric Hall, because we have guys now that have playoff experience who have been in this league for a while and aren't that young and can make an immediate impact because they've done it before. It's not a new thing to them, and I think that's going to help our younger guys like Brat, Nico, even though those two have been there, but barely, and Jack a lot. And speaking of, Jack Hughes has not been good. Like, it hurts me to say that. I don't think I would have brought this up if AJ was here. But since he's not, I'll bring it up. AJ, if you're
Posting
listening.
this on Instagram.
Of course. But seriously, two goals in his last 16 games played now. And this is a guy that was scoring 1 to 2 goals a night before his injury. You cannot tell me he's playing fully healthy right now, because it's night and day. He had a stretch where he had, I think, 15 goals in 15 games. And now in his next 16 games, he has 2. So it's not even remotely close. He has not been good. He's been turning the puck over a lot. He just seems to step slow. He's not as quick with his decision making. It's been really, really bad. And the thing with him is he's always been more one-dimensional in the sense that he doesn't bring physicality or play this lockdown defense. He's valuable to a team because of his offense. So when he's not producing offensively, it's ugly to watch.
It really bothers me when I watch him, like, kind of do half circles and, like, search for the puck and try to create some offense when, you know, his only good thing that he does on defense is back check and try to, you know, take the puck away. And we've seen him done it before when he scored the first goal against Carolina at home in that shutout win. And, you know, watching him last night and his decisions, yeah, he hit the post a couple times, but there are opportunities where maybe he could have slid the puck to Brad or Meyer in overtime, and maybe even, you know, there's a chance where Hamilton was at a spot and, you know, he totally whiffed on it. And Jack fell last night. He fell on the ice during overtime. It's like, why is he doing this?
Yeah. How many times do we see Jack try to bank it in off the goalie's mask from below the goal line? I mean,
He has to stop doing that.
It's
like,
2 to 3 times a night now, and he has scored on that 3 times, to my knowledge, in his entire career. So 3 times in, what is this, his 4th season? Third or 4th? And so it basically works once a season, and he tries it 3-4 times a night. And it's like you have possession in the offensive zone. I get it. Like, come on. They're loving this anti-Jack
Oh
Hughes
my
talk too much.
God.
Sorry, Quinn's brother, we apologize for the hatred
No,
that we
listen,
sent towards you
Listen,
tonight.
man. This Devils team had a rough week, but they're still second in the division, right? That's the most you could ask for right now, other than trying to catch Carolina. You're 2
And
points down.
I'd rather get our poor play out now than when playoffs start.
That's fair.
I mean, like I've said a million times, the team that gets hot in the playoffs is the team that does the best. We see that in all sports. So, regular season goes out the window. If we're going to have any jitters, let them out now. Hopefully those jitters don't cost the Rangers leapfrogging us. But I'm pretty
They'll be
confident
perfectly fine there.
that they'll be fine.
But Moving on to the rest of the Eastern Conference wildcard race, dogfight. The Islanders, they're turning it up right now, first seed. And Florida is in the second spot as of right now, literally going crazy. They took down Montreal 9-5. It was 7-3 after the first period, and it was, I believe, it was 9-4 just 10 minutes into the second. I was sure they were going to drop like 12, but they didn't score after that point. So it is what it is. Greatest first period ever. They scored in like 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, 6 minutes in, and they scored 4 goals within like 4 minutes and 9 seconds to end the first period. It was crazy. Unreal offensive performance right there. Both Montreal goalies got lit up. Montembeault allowed 3 goals. And then, oh my God, this poor kid, Jake Allen, man. 12 saves, 18 shots faced. That's tough. And then after that, Florida's next game, they take down the Devils 4-2. Great third period comeback. Then they destroy Detroit. 2-0 lead, 3-1, and then it was just out of hand by then. Detroit never had a chance, and they were fully well in that second wild card spot by then. But then they lost last night to the Flyers, which was really bad. They had Alex Lyon in the defense had an off night. Bobrovsky finally got a rest night after playing 13 straight games.
Oh.
Alexander Barkov is now the franchise leader in points. Took Jonathan Huberdeau's record from him the past night. But they play Toronto tomorrow, so every game matters here. This playoff race is really down to the wire. Pittsburgh Penguins, a point down from the Cats.
What happened?
And they didn't gain a single point this week. You lose to the Rangers twice, and you lost to Ottawa 2-1.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Drake Batherson, power play goal. Ottawa wins the game. And let's just break down the rest of this playoff picture right now, because you literally have L of the week coming right here. I would have given it to the Penguins. I would have, if the Buffalo Sabres didn't exist.
It's actually sad, in my opinion, because I thought Buffalo really was going to have a resurgence.
They have fully...
And they just fully collapsed.
Ran away from the playoffs. Literally have won one game since March 5th. One win. And it was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Literally, this past week, they beat the Cap. They lose to the Caps in the shootout. Lose to the Flyers. Lose to the Bruins from a touchdown game, 7-0. And then lose to the Predators 7-3. They've allowed 14 goals in their past 2 games. Atrocious. Tage Thompson, no playoffs for you. They quite literally dropped in the division. Ottawa went up in the Atlantic Division, and they went 1-3 this week. They won one game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, by the way. Funny little, Easter egg there. The Pittsburgh Penguins are Ottawa's only win since March 10th. So, AJ, that's food for thought right there. Other than that, for them to go up in the division while only winning one game since March 10th says how bad Buffalo's been, and that's all I need to say. Because, Detroit and Montreal, whatever. Buffalo has completely taken themselves almost out of this race. They can still get back in, but it's really Florida, the Islanders, and Pittsburgh at the top fighting for it.
Me when I'm in a giving false hope to my fans competition and my opponent is the Buffalo Sabres.
Fully, everyone. Remember when the Sabres fans saying they could take Boston round 1, but they won't even see them round 1?
Can I slander AJ?
Do it right now. You got a minute. You got a minute left on the show.
It just take me 20 seconds. So I remember every episode, beginning of when
I'll make sure to clip this too.
Started the this radio show. AJ was like, "Oh, it's okay. We're gonna get to the dance. It doesn't matter. Once we get to the dance, anything could happen."
Make up your mind, AJ. Are they making the dance or are they not?
And then 2 weeks ago,
after watching that Penguins team Saturday night, there's no way they are.
Bro,
that team look
AJ
lost.
doesn't know whether they're good or not. And me and Tanner were talking about it last week when we were on here. And just AJ, what's going on, buddy? What happened to your beloved Pittsburgh Penguins? Where's Crosby? Where's Malkin? It's March now, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are not in a playoff spot for the first time in God who knows how long. So AJ, what is happening right now? We really need you on the show next week.
They got blue.
So
they got blue.
You could explain.
They got blue.
yourself.
They got blue shirted.
They
That's
got
all.
blue shirted.
They got blue shirted. That's all I gotta say.
He needs some milk.
Boom, third time for the episode right there. As you are listening to the top of the hour here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Boys, what a way to end the episode. A lot of action packed there. You got last words for the whole cast and crew on the day.
One last quote. Connor McDavid said this 40 minutes ago. He said, "Did you see Ohtani versus Trout last night? That's what hockey's been missing for almost a decade now." And
a decade ago it was Crosby and Ovechkin, and a decade later it's really McDavid versus the NHL. It's
true.
essentially.
And the NHL doesn't do enough in terms of international competitions. I mean, we haven't seen players at the Olympics in over a decade now, right? Or about a decade.
Yeah. Well, they were gonna go, and
the
then
World Cup of Hockey keeps getting canceled and pushed back and making excuses. It's the number one way to grow the game, and the NHL turns its back to it. That's all we need to know in terms of how much they want to grow the game.
Justin, Tanner, anything?
The Devils are winning the Metropolitan Division.
Oh!
No, I disagree.
Damn! You're
These are on
supposed
the
to have
same
my
side.
back.
They
You're
don't
supposed
even
to
have
have my
they
back.
don't even have each other's back.
Yeah, I might have to go with Daniel on that one.
Okay, see, now
Third-
I'm stuck,
third-
'cause
third
normally
place
I'm not on
Devils.
Either Justin's too positive and Campbell's too negative.
It's
Third
like,
place.
It's like Tanner said a few weeks
Third
ago.
place.
There's no faith in New Jersey, and that's the case with Daniel and Campbell. This is unbelievable. We have to have faith in New Jersey. Devils are winning the Metro Division. Period.
third place team.
All right, y'all.
Second place.
Yeah, probably.
All right, y'all. This has been Breaking the Ice. We're going to send it over. And now, y'all will enjoy some beautiful WMSC content. We'll be back next week for more Breaking the Ice hockey content. We'll see which teams have clinched a playoff spot and which teams are the ones that aren't going to make the big dance. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Dude, I have like 4 Instagram clips. I'm gonna have to,
the
there's too
Hawk
much good
has
stuff in there. I
landed.
gotta clip me impersonating Justin. Gotta clip all the good stuff, bro. I gotta clip the AJ slander.
This
I
is
gotta
one
clip,
small step for
Daniel
man,
saying, if AJ was here, I wouldn't be saying
one
Jack Hughes.
giant leap
Yeah.
for college radio.